Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, August 25, 2023, at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a reverse aging health call tonight at around 9 p.m. Eastern. This time of change on this planet, in this quadrant of the galaxy, is unprecedented. And we have a lot of frequencies and energies that are flying all over the place. It's like reckless abandon. They're just absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you go, you don't need to be in the thick of it to feel it. And I've had people, ask me why they're feeling a strange drain, is about the best way I can put it. It's not like a drain that's, you know what I mean? You just end of the day drain. It's not like that. Or you just feel drained. You wake up in the morning, you're drained, and you just feel kind of blah. But understand that pure evil, a long time ago, descended upon this planet. Now, there's a difference between evil and pure evil. Evil has avenues to rescind its position and gravitate more towards higher frequencies. Pure evil does not. It gave in. You got to remember that these creatures, these beings, some of them look human and some of them don't, and it's a whole mix match. So when these beings are, and I'm talking about the pure evil ones, they have no remorse. They have no real passion as you and I know it. They have no compassion as you and I would know it, or as we would practice it ourselves. So it's difficult for many people to understand. It's like when you look at Maui and you look at the town, Lanai, and you now, of course, it comes out, you see what happened there and how people were hurted and they were stopped from leaving and then they were just obliterated over, quite frankly, the pure evil money lords that want to put in big mansions on the property. Now, to us, we look at that and say, that's just absolutely foul. How could another human being literally commit such horrible atrocities against another? Life, basically. It's what it is life, and life is, we believe life is the highest supreme value in the universe. Life is God, pure consciousness. It's all a combination. So when these things happen, we get drained. Some of us more than others. There's some that really are super affected by it, and it's not like they understand. They know that some do. They have an inclination that kind of letting them know that this shouldn't be, and it's got to end. And you got to be careful to stay away from your ego mind taking you down the path of, revenge and hatred and anger and getting even and that type of thing, because those are all low frequencies. We know it. Even though you know it, we all have a tendency to go there at times to different degrees. When we understand that when pure evil is out in the open, which is very rare. Very rare. Not many planetary systems where pure evil revealed itself completely. This pure evil on Earth and Gaia and Arya has revealed itself to all of us. Where it's not like it used to be where it would hide. You would know, you would have a sixth sense and know that it was there, but it wasn't in your face. You didn't have it right up in your face all the time. And so I've had people ask me, what's the difference? Why is it that way now? When it wasn't, when our parents were our age and so on and so forth. Why is that happening? So the best way to put it is that their rule on this planet, and a lot of us know it's been a long time. A lot of us know that, a lot of the atrocities we know about. We know what they've done and through the thousands and millennia that they've been here. So, but the positive aspect of this is that they can no longer hold the ground. It's not possible for them now. Reason is that many of us in the collective consciousness have determined that this isn't the end for them. It's over. Now, that doesn't mean that they will not continue to create every form of havoc and death and destruction that they can, because that's all they know. Just like us. We create collectively. We all create, and that's what we are. We're creators. We are not destroyers. People say, well, there's people that will do certain things that destroy certain... Yeah, but not on such a grand scale as pure evil. We do get tricked emotionally into going into revenge, and we get angry, and we do things that we normally wouldn't do. Okay? But the pure evil aspect of this is a whole different ballgame. And we are witnessing pure evil in broad daylight, so to speak, figuratively speaking. And it's no longer, it is so desperate to gain the ground again on Earth. And it's finding it cannot do that anymore. So it ignores that, and it continually embraces that it's won, and it's over for humanity, and it's over for life on the planet. Life on this planet won't exist. And to them, that's a good deed. It's a good deed. That's how they view things. They view things from pure evil, which is the opposite of life being the highest supreme value in the universes. Now, it affects us in these physical bodies. Now, the God that we are is pure light energy. So the body's emotional. The God is not, okay? The God doesn't get angry, doesn't get destructive. It's only when we inherit these physical forms that we inherit much with it. It's not that we know that, but we eventually figure it out. We eventually know that, since we're in these bodies, there's certain things that go with it. And some of them we don't ever, in maybe this lifetime, maybe the next, where we discover these things for ourselves. And it's a tremendous opportunity for us in a learning and growth capacity, because we have the opportunity to become very knowledgeable on this stuff, where before we were in the dark. We didn't have a clue. Kind of new things, but this time around, with everything being revealed, we've got some, I'll put it this way, huge learning and experiencing, unprecedented. Compared to other lifetimes, Not even close. It's way beyond. Now, you know, when you start to understand this, then you start to understand why you're tired or you just feel flat. Because the energy, the body is emotional. In fact, just about everything about the body is emotional. And so listening or hearing or watching, we're like these very powerful computer, the brain. And it's calculating and moving, and we have the subconscious, and we have the unconscious, and we have the conscious, all operating. So you got to remember that our subconscious is recording everything. Everything. Now these beings, what they do is they have the same thing. They do the same thing. They've been doing the same thing for thousands of years. What is the same thing? Conquer, control, death, and destruction. That's all. That's pretty simple. Pretty simple closet of what they are and what they do. Now, for us, it's disruptive because of the frequencies. We're moving out of, by choice, and also by the desire to evolve as a species. So we're going through a learning curve, so to speak, as a species on this planet. Now, a lot of us know that we're quite close to extinction because of how we have been programmed, but we also know that that's not etched in stone, and that we will have the opportunity to shift, which we've already done. And between the shifting and the interacting with, and we are, in a way, we're interacting with this pure evil directly or indirectly. And so it is, and it's not, I'm not talking about spiritually draining, okay, because that's not the case. We don't drain as gods. We never have. So, you know, that depiction on how we were taught certain things is basically a lie. But physically, it's more emotional. It's not like you worked a job all day and you're just physically, you're that kind of fatigued. I think you know what I mean. It's more of the avenue that you feel flat, your body does. And things that you would normally do, you kind of sway away from. Because we have so many different emotions going on with our bodies that it's just unreal. You can't keep up with it all. That's why we talk about going into the now and staying in the now. Because you've got all this mind chatter going on, right? And then you've got the ego mind kicking in its 2 cents. It's telling you, oh, this is horrible, and it's the end of the world, and you know, we've got all this garbage going on. It's not worth living, but there's no way that our light is extinguished at all. It's the opposite. It's the dark light that's being extinguished off of this planet. And it does seem, for many, it does seem that it's, what do you call it? It's useless, that pure evil is in charge, and you know, that's what it appears to be. And these, you know, what's going on with fires on the planet and how many people are suffering, and on a major scale. And so we've got to be careful, because we have a tendency or a propensity as humans, for the most part, that we get tied up in the ego mind and we're led down a low frequency path. So then we get irritable, and then we get angry, and then we kind of mirror the very thing that we don't care to have on this planet. So we have to be very careful. That's why we talk about going into deep gratitude. Period. You automatically shift into a gratitude state, which totally changes. It completely changes everything. And it brings you out of that state of despair to a certain degree. And no, there's not a lot of people running around laughing and joking or anything else, which would be a good idea, because this time we're experiencing it, and we will be able to help other civilizations that will experience similar situations on their planet. We're experiencing it right now. And it's a great honor for us gods to be in physical form at this time to experience all this is going on. And that might sound strange, people, because we're used to having things the way we want them. Isn't that right? We really are used to having things the way we want them, for the most part. So we're kind of spoiled in a way. And we've also been pre-programmed by society from other people's thoughts that don't cover this. This is different. This is new. It seems like the very infrastructure that we all thought or believed through generations, that the entire infrastructure is collapsing, which for a lot of people is scary. Because remember, we all have these comfort zones that most of us stand in and stay in, and many of us will not venture out. Many of us will not venture out of that circle, whatever you want to call it, comfort zone. But now we're being literally, let's put it this way, we're being motivated very highly to step outside of it and to start really moving into an action position where the universe is sending you certain things so that you can grow as a human. Not as a god. As gods, we've already done that for billions and trillions of years. So we perfect more as gods, and we experience. It's the whole thing about us is that we experience things. And that's really what we're doing right now. We're experiencing things that we aren't used to experiencing. Unprecedented. And everybody says, where's the good guys? Where are they at? What happened? What happened to the good guys? Why aren't they around? They should be around. They aren't doing the right thing. They aren't helping. Yeah. But they are. But you've got to understand that everything in their infrastructure, pure evil on this planet, is them. Which means what? Well, it means the media. It means all media. It's all of it, period. The magazines, the newspapers, periodicals, on the internet, the old-fashioned way, the television, the boob tube presentations, all in favor of what? Evil, pure evil. All in favor of pure evil. So evil will destroy itself. Light doesn't destroy. So it expands if evil eventually destroys itself. Because it is an anti-life existence with pure evil. It's not about living. It's about destroying. Period. So this is why everything has shifted and it's been revealed out in the open in broad daylight. It'll never be hidden again from this civilization to know that it is diminishing. It is fading. It seems like that it's actually doing the opposite, that it's gearing up even more and more. But that's the way it seems. That's the way they want you to believe, so that you give them more power to be able to regain ground control. And it can't. Tried everything that's possible. Now, we know that there are avenues that they use that, now, we've stopped them several times, more than you can count. It doesn't appear that way, but the carnage that you may have witnessed that seems so horrible, right, and impactful, because it is a drop in a bucket compared to what they were going to do in each situation. All right? These are like little taps. And yes, I know that children are stolen, and the adults are murdered, and we are in a position as gods and to become more and more aware of the transition of this planet from pure evil to pure light. And remember, in a brilliant, bright day, you will find dark particles. In a pitch black night, you will find light particles. The key is how is their frequency? How impactful is their frequency on the light? Does it destroy the light? No. See, in a bicameral planet, you look at light ending and dark coming. You see, bicameral people would look at that as dark was pure evil and light was pure good. And that's from a bicameral right and left brain attitude. As some of us have come into consciousness, not all of us, we've begun to realize is that it's a balance. And on this planet, it has been so out of balance for so long that it has now ran the course, and it will no longer be allowed to run any further. And sure, there's going to be disruption. There's going to be more avenues of, I'd say, disappointment that will cause people to be upset, that other people will leave the body, because our life as gods, as we know, is eternal. That's what we really are, truly are. And the bodies are temporary. They give us the opportunity to experience a physical, material life. That's it. And see, we're out of balance because we haven't embraced our highest priority of going within and staying in the now, focusing on our breath and the space between heartbeats, and that's where our natural state is. We have been in an unnatural state for far too long as a civilization. So this unnatural state causes unpleasantness. It causes that blah, that almost like you get into a state where you say, what's the use, right? You say to yourself, what's the use? And when I worked with the suicide hotline, it was voluntary. And the people that would call in and what they would talk about. And some of it, like to you, would probably seem trivial. I mean, nonsensical, but to them, huge, highly impactful on their lives. And this is our diversity and why we learn so much from each other. And when we talk about unity, clarity, spirituality, it brings us closer together. You begin to realize that all this other stuff that has been attempted to be employed upon us for generations, skin color, whether you dig ditches or live in a big mansion, it's no bearing on our existence and who and what we really are. We are highly supreme, omnipotently powerful, immortal beings. We're master manifestors. We're master reality. We are the only reality. The God within us never changes. It's real. Everything that changes is unreal. It's not real. It's illusion. But it gives us the ability to experience. That's why it exists. It's the only reason it exists. So when we're in physical form, it's all about us experiencing. So we go ahead and we create things so that we can experience them. And some people will say, I didn't create that. There's no way I would create that for myself. That came from somewhere else. Well, in a way, maybe it did. Maybe you embraced the thought of someone else's thought that you brought into reality and experienced it for yourself. And so for you, your perspective is that, well, maybe I did it to myself. But it's not a negative. We must maintain gentleness, kindness, and generosity with ourselves at all times. Really, truly. To put ourselves in that, embrace it fully, permanently. Not temporarily, not when things get rough, but all the time. And the same with gratitude. Gratitude is supremely powerful. It's why we have it. Is to be in the now, gentle, kind, and generous with yourself at all times, and humble, and be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, eternal gratitude. That's why I end each of my calls with that reminder. And it's like I've shared with people before, we've got to have repetitiveness, things that we'll read more than once, right? Not things that we read and are bored with and we aren't motivated to read again, but things that we read more than once, things that we listen to more than once. We're reprogramming ourselves, which is a really good thing. Some people may not realize that's what they're doing, but we're reprogramming ourselves. And when you're informed and you know what went on, see, it's important to know how you got where you're at. Where in the heck did you come from? I'm not talking about being born in the body. I'm talking about you as the God. Where did you come from? What's this all about? It's about experiencing physical form, life. And we're the ones that have the power. It's just like all the pure evil on the planet. It's disintegrating. So what happens when that happens? You're used to running everything, used to controlling everything, used to having a slavedom. And it's deteriorating and falling apart, and it's melting away. I've had several people tell me that they feel this. It isn't wishful thinking. It isn't wishing bad or negative on anything. It's a knowing. And we're all a part of it, because in our collective consciousness as one, this is what's happening. We're going through over 2,000 years. We'll be going through, and we're in it now, a photon energy field, pure light. It's flooding the planet. It's flooding all of us. It's part of the other gods in the collective consciousness. It's pure creation. And this is something that the pure evil can't fend off. It just can't. It's like watching it melt away. Like the Wicked Witch on the original Wizard of Oz, right? Melting away. And it's melting away because and then as it does that, it becomes more agitated, more desperate, more aggressive as it's being diminished. And a lot of people would say, well, that would mean that it would be a lot weaker than it seems to be now. No, not necessarily. Actually, much more aggressive. When you're losing the kingdom of pure evil for the very first time, collectively, you're going to do anything you can to regain it. And it's just not working. Have you noticed? In any attempts, yes, there has been collateral damage. We know that. And we would like to not have any collateral damage. Zero. And on occasion that happens. In such cases in the military, on special assignment, you might be fortunate enough not to have any of your men taken out. you might be able to do things without one casualty because you executed everything in such high perfection and exactness. And because you are well trained in order to do that. So, and I think that this meditation today is understanding that we're increasing our vibrational frequencies by choice. Not to get even, not to be revengeful, but we're doing it because we're evolving, and we've chosen to do so. No one's forced us to, and no one really can. It's up to you and the God that you are to determine that this is enough. We've been exposed and experienced generation after generation on this planet of this pure evil. We've each experienced it in different ways, maybe indirectly or directly, in different lifetimes, and maybe this one. So it's not like we are rookies on this planet, because we're not. We're far from it. It's unfortunate that we have amnesia, so we have to rediscover, we choose to rediscover who and what we are. And I believe that's happening more and more. It's been happening for years, but in recent years it has accelerated and picked up. You know, there are things that have happened that are very impactful on the planet. Number one is we will no longer destroy baby bodies to stop souls from coming in, or to stop gods from coming in. God is within the soul. We will stop that because, you know, when you have gods that have so much to offer a civilization, and they're constantly being blocked because there's not enough physical vessels for them to enter. And that's done on purpose. And we begin to flourish. Now, doesn't it make sense that we are eliminating frequency-wise pure evil? And not just temporarily, but permanently. And doesn't it make sense that we will not forget and let this just fade out so future generations won't know what happened during this time on planet Earth? They will know, because we will tell them. Many of us will tell them. And, of course, many of us will be able to live for thousands of years, which is hugely impactful for this planet and us, the civilization that resides on it. So a tremendous opportunity to enter our body and to be still around, right, in the body, to experience this. So when I come across people that I know are flat, I can tell, you know, how they talk, how the energy they vibrate with. Is it low or is it high? Or is it almost non-existent? People being tired, stretched out, strained across this country from many fronts and many avenues. Children being stolen, used for pure evil purposes. Women being driven into destruction. The feminine, the female energy. You know, all of this has and is happening. And it's like the last stand of pure evil on planet Earth. So everything is gain. Everything. Now, when you feel flat, like in this meditation in the quiet time, again, no matter how flat you feel, get in a comfortable position. All right? I don't mean, you know, grab a bottle of booze or cocaine or whatever it may be to relax. I'm talking about naturally, organically, getting a real comfortable position. And focus on your breath. Listen to your breath. Right? Because in order for you to not feel flat, is to go into the now. And the now is the breath. The now is the space between breaths and heartbeats. That's it. And when you do this, you don't have to over try too hard. Okay? It's just easily. So when you focus on the breath, and you will move into the now, and you will drop into the heart-mind from the head. And once you do this, all you're doing is being. You don't have to do some special incantation. You don't have to do anything. You just be. Focus on your breath. Listen to your breath. You'll move into a state of high gratitude, peace, tranquility, benevolence, joy, bliss, and the ego mind won't be there. And that just incessant noise, chatter that we all have is gone. You're not thinking about anything. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking an hour from now. You're not thinking yesterday. You're not thinking. You've left the mind alone and the ego alone. They don't exist in the now. So this is what you focus on. And you lean in. You literally let go and fall into yourself. You'll find that your shoulders will drop, your stress and tension will ease immensely, and you continually do it. However long you want to do it. Now, the ego mind will try to cause you to come out of it so that it's got mastership over you again. But this is the only way that you'll ever manifest anything, seriously. First, being in the now, and then letting the universe know what it is you do want. You don't have attachments. You don't have expectations. You're excited and you're enthusiastic. But it's not so that if it doesn't happen when you want it to happen, that you're devastated. The universe is absolutely your best friend, always has been. It's just that we don't know that, and many of us negate it. We think it's silly. It's stupid. But in reality, it's the truth. We have many opportunities to do that. You don't have to be in a special place. You don't have to be in a mountain retreat. You can do it anytime, any place you choose. You go sit in your car. Do it in your car. Do it on a walk. Sitting in a park bench. Sitting on the ground. Shopping, grocery store shopping. You can do it anytime you want. There's no restraints or conditions. There's no report card that you're going to get graded on. By increasing your vibrational frequency, okay, you're helping everybody around you. You literally are. And more than you could possibly imagine. By keeping that vibrational frequency higher than the pure evil and the dark matter, lower frequencies. It's just a no-brainer. Even though we're affected through the ego mind and things, and we respond by emotionality, of course, but we know. It's knowing. Yeah, if you fall into the other people's thoughts, just flying in, or you are taken off to another direction, right out of in the now, all you do is come right back around and focus on the breath. Okay? You focus on breath. You don't need to try real hard. You know, there's no specific pattern. There's just the general focus on the breath. Relax in the body. Just lean back, let go, and listen to the breath. Now, as you do this, everything shifts, so you're not agitated. But you're not thinking about being agitated. You're not focused on all the things that are happening. You're focused on what? You're focused on the now. Yesterday and tomorrow is where the ego mind dwell. But doesn't it make sense that when you're worrying about something, right, and you desire to shift gears through your heart mind, rather than worried about how you're going to pay the bills, worried about how you're going to pay the rent, you focus on what? The now. And you send out to the universe, you know that it will be taken care of. You just know. It is an issue. And the universe will send you what you need in different forms, different opportunities. So we have such power, such abilities that are off the charts. We're fully equipped for this transition as the gods that we are in the body. I mean, absolutely fully equipped. And as these things happen, you've got to remember that the forces of light are already in charge in many avenues. And I don't mean in charge like overseeing, controlling. I'm talking about that the higher vibrational frequencies are bringing in the power of light. And the transformation is in full swing. Have you ever seen, if you've ever been somewhere, sitting up high, and you look down in the valley and you see all this land, and it kind of looks dim, and then you see like a wave of sunlight come over the land. You ever seen that? And all the darkness is gone. It just opens up all across the land. That's what's happening on planet Earth. This planet's had many names: Gaia, Arya, Sophia. So, but we have the power of the gods that we are. Period. There's no denying it. So we embrace that. We acknowledge the fact that collectively we're shifting the planet into a higher vibrational frequency, each one of us, into a God-planet paradise. Literally. What does that mean? What does a God-planet paradise mean? What does it mean? It means that we are a whole lot of gods, and we're all parts of the one. And we've all incarnated on this planet for a long time, over and over again. And we're coming into our own, and we're rediscovering the fact that we are a God in the body, and we're not the bodies. That we are everlasting. That we are omnipotently, supremely powerful, immortal, manifesting beings. And this is what's happening on this planet. And we have a lot of help. And as you transition, you'll start realizing, how did we do it all this time? How are we able to persevere? Now this is all out in the open, that's been going on for millennia. Because we're gods in the body, that's why. That's just it. To varying degrees of understanding that. Sure, people have left the body prematurely throughout the generations and stuff. Yes, we've had pure evil created conflicts, wars, what they call them on this planet, that were nonsensical, that did not ever need to have happen. But, you know, pure evil, remember, pure evil is an anti to pure good. It's complete opposite. So we love and we build and we explore and we expand. They destroy. That's it. That's simple. Murder, death, kill, death, and destruction. Control, slavery, deceit. And the rest of the planet, you know, we look here in this country and on this continent, the rest of the planet is picking up on that as well. See, we're all connected, we're all linked, and it's opening up more and more. Every single quantum particle opening up. And there is a way for all of us to denote and to extinguish any form of pure evil effects on any of us by being in the now. So right now in this quiet time, focus on your breath. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. Be still like a statue. And put your intent out. Only then. If you do it through the ego mind and you're not in the now and you're, you know, it's like many are in the yesterday or tomorrow, it isn't 99.9% of the time it ain't going to take place. But in the now is the secret where you manifest. You must be in the now. You must be in the heart mind. Whatever it may be, whatever you desire, life, health, not only for you, for the planet, for this country, for all the people right now in this very moment, all the people that are suffering, all the people that are stressed, all life, all animals that are stressed, all plants, everything, all life. And watch it flood and completely become saturated by the light of all the gods that we are. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Out of pure nothingness, your awareness is manifesting everything you see around you. Every thought you think is creating your reality. Reality is based on whatever you choose to think about and imagine. There are no limits to what you could do with your life. Start today, in this moment, in this now. With this approach and attitude today, that you are manifesting whatever you focus upon. This universe is always holding its infinitely empty canvas out in front of you. Paint whatever you want on it. Your future is already bright and flawless. It's like a clean slate or slate brimming with infinite potential, energy, and creativity. When you open yourself up to this blank canvas, you tap into your unlimited potentiality. You access your power to manifest whatever you wish, want, desire. So what new brushstrokes are you going to be adding today? Infinite potentiality is all around you now. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here, Saturday, August 26, 2023, Getting too far ahead of myself. 2023. Shows you we'll be around by then too, by the way, in a much better light. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, eternal gratitude. Focus on the God planet. Focus on New Earth. This one is over.